Hey, it's Lady Linda Bird, Secure Benefits Group, with another story time. And I just bet somebody's going to relate to this. You know, this is going to be a story time relating to Life Insurance Awareness Month, but also loss and grieving and healing and all of those things bundled up in one. I'm taking a little break from work because I keep thinking about my father. He was a fisherman and he was so wise. My goodness, he taught me so much about life and traveling and cooking, and he was just my best friend. The summer of 2013, we had a boat called the Flying Cloud. It was a fishing boat, 65-foot open fishing boat, and we would take people out every day, 2 times a day. We fished off of the Montauk waters for fluke and porgy, sea bass, and it was just an amazing childhood growing up. Well, Daddy, that particular summer, he really needed some help with the boat, and I really think that he just really wanted me to come up there. So I did. I packed up my house, grabbed my little grandson Dayton and my cat. I put my dog Kingston, little Cocker Spaniel. I boarded him for the summer because he would have been too much. And I went to Montauk and did everything, like as far as the TSA was concerned, so that, because things, used to be any kid could just work on the boat, but then laws changed and we had to be actually accredited by the TSA to do it. There's a lot of politics and stuff, but it was fun. So I was the first mate on the boat that summer, and I had the galley, and it was just amazing. So August 5th, well, fast forward, no, I'm going to back up a little bit. Daddy and I were having a glass of wine about a week or so before he actually passed. And in the conversation, we were just talking, and I used to love to have talk with Dad. We would talk a lot about food, cooking, and traveling, and we were planning our New Orleans trip because we used to go to New Orleans every year, and that was our big deal. We would go like either right after Thanksgiving time or right before, in the winter months we would go, because that was when he wasn't sailing. So anyway, we were sitting there drinking and having a glass of wine and talking, and he was like, I'm not going to be here forever. And I'm like, Daddy, get out of here. You're not going anywhere. Because realistically, I know I'm going to go. I know I'm not going to be here forever. But in my heart, it's like, I'm still a kid, He was vital. He was still walking and running the boat up and down that ladder at 85, and just the furthest thing from my mind was that my dad was not going to be here. So it was August 5th, and we drove up to a town called Riverhead, because that's where you go when he had to renew his license. You renew your captain's license every 5 years, and Daddy was working on his 10th, was it, or 11th? He'd been a captain for many, many years. Anyway, we were driving up there, and we were going through the towns. So it was like Montauk, Amagansett, then it was East Hampton, Bridgehampton, and he said, I don't want to go through here again until Thanksgiving, because it was like, the traffic was ridiculous. So we went up to Riverhead, and he did his urine test, and he did all of his stuff to renew his license, and we came back home. We stopped at the King Cullen, and we went grocery shopping, and he'd been complaining that I wasn't feeding him enough, because I was making enough lunch for him. So I got home and unpacked everything, and me and my grandson, we went down to the docks, and we were shooting pool and hanging out. And when I came back home that evening, my father said to me, he goes, where do you get all that energy? And I was like, I don't know, Daddy. I guess I don't know. And we said our good nights and our I love yous. And that was the last time I heard him say that he loved me. That morning, August 6th, I got up and I made him two sandwiches because he said I wasn't feeding I wasn't making him enough food. So I made him 2 sandwiches, packed his lunch, made our breakfast, and went to hit the door because I would leave the house at 6 o'clock to go down to open up the wheelhouse to get everyone on the boat. And he didn't answer. I'm like, come on, Daddy, it's time to go. And he didn't answer. And I just knew. It was like that feeling in my chest. And it was like this quiet in the house. And I just knew he was gone. And I let out a scream that sent neighbors running to the house. It's like, Daddy, wake up. Wake up! Wake up. But he didn't wake up. And I was so sad. I'm getting a little sad telling the story, but I'll tell you something. It's been 11 years and a month, a little over a month, and I couldn't talk about my father for a long time. But I can now because the grieving has, it's evolved. It's not, I'm not like grieving him. I miss him. But the moral of this story is that my father had taken out an insurance policy. I wish I had saved it, just a copy of it, just for, nostalgia. But Daddy had taken out insurance policy before he had even met my mother. And my dad was born in 1927. And my mom, they got married in 1955. Or 54, because Philip was born in 55. I was born in 56. But this is the thing. He had each one of us kids, me, myself, my brother, my older brother, and my younger sister. We were all on this insurance policy. So what he did was each time they had a child, he added the child to the policy, but the policy was paid up. So it was funny because he had left his will in the bread box in the kitchen. So as I'm, after they'd come and taken him to, I forgot the name of the funeral home, but it was in East Hampton, and they had, taken him, and we were going through things and cleaning things up. I found the will, and I found the insurance policy. And he had laid out every detail. So all I had to do was make phone calls. And that was one thing that I had dreaded for a long time. I was like, oh my goodness. I lived in Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland, and it was about depending on traffic, 8 to 10 hour drive to get up there to where my dad lived in Montauk. And whenever I would hit the top of that hill, that was when I would get this like rush. It was like a rush. Yeah, I'm going home. And I used to think about how would I feel making that trip, and if he was deceased and knowing I wouldn't get to see him. Well, that didn't happen. I was there. I got to take care of everything and get his clothing together for his wake, and it was really kind of an honor. Actually, I did go into a depression, but I'm not here to talk about that. I want to just talk about the love and the consideration that this man had for his children. And I take it so personally because he and I were very, very close. And the fact that, as I said, I didn't have to go through making phone calls, trying to borrow money to take care of his final expenses. It was all done. Everything laid out. The insurance policy paid up. All we had to do was take care of the formalities to get the check and split it 3 ways. And he had everything taken care of. And it's just a cautionary tale. So what that did for me was let me know that, you know what, make sure my affairs are in order. All of our affairs should be in order. And even if you don't have a lot of money, you don't need a whole lot of money to make sure that your family doesn't go into debt when it's your time to leave here, So this is just a little story time. I wanted to just share a little bit. It's something that resonates deeply with me. It made me just I didn't think I could respect or love the man more, but that particular time made it so, and as we get older, all of us, it just it's very, very hard to wrap your head around the fact that there are so many people that do not have life insurance. And I don't know if it's denial or just putting it off or not realizing the importance of it. But it is important to do. That's all. I just wanted to just share that little story time. And if you've gotten this far, just introduce myself again, Linda Bird. I am with the Secure Benefits Group, and I do help all ages from 0 to 85 with life insurance products and Medicare. And I particularly work with the senior population, but I will work with anyone. So I hope to hear from you guys. Thanks for listening. It's helped me because, as I said before, it took me a while. It took me a couple of years to get to the point where I could even talk about him without busting into a big crybaby and weeping. But it's gotten better. Now I look back on him with such love and respect and all of that good stuff. Thank you. I'll talk to you guys later.